Here's the 5 big mistakes that I see contractors making when running their construction businesses. All right, so these are common mistakes that I've seen many times. I've done them myself in my own contracting business, and I want to be sharing them with you so you can avoid, the pain, the frustration, the losses of making these blunders, and it will just help accelerate your growth and just make life so much easier if you can get ahead of these, as I see so many contractors falling into the pitfalls. As always, give this video a quick thumbs, likes up, really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, get subscribed for all the great content. Jumping in, number 1. So the big mistake that I see a lot of contractors making, especially early on, is hiring quickly. So not having a good process and taking the time to really vet new people coming into the businesses. I know construction is prone to, we just need warm bodies. We're super busy. You got a bunch of projects. Let's just get someone in here. If they don't work out or they, don't have the experience that we thought, we'll just can them, get a new guy, right? That's not a great way to run a business. It's going to cost you a lot of time and effort. Plus, you're going to have a lot of turnover. The culture of your business is going to suffer because your other long-term employees are just seeing, the cycle of new guys come in and out. So what you want to be doing is having a process in place and having at least a standard set of questions that you're going through an interview process with new prospective employees, so that there's some consistency in the inquiries that you're making to them and you get a solid base of information from them. Also taking care of any deal breakers. So things like, do they have their own tools? Do they have a vehicle? Do they have a license? Are they afraid of heights? So whatever kind of deal breakers, getting those out of the way right early on so you're not wasting your time and their time, but taking the time to make sure that the people that you are bringing into your business are going to be a good fit, even if it is a little painful at first because you're probably, overworked, overwhelmed, and you need people, in because you've got jobs that need to get production done. But hiring too quickly is often a road to just more pain and generally it's not a good way to run a business because you waste money as well, because every new person that comes in, you've got to get them in your system, you got to train them, they got to meet the people. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to ramp up and be productive. So that's the first mistake you want to be watching out for. And the way to limit this is get a nice, good process and do your due diligence. Actually call their references, check up on them, check their experience, and make sure that they are a good fit for your business. All right, makes sense? Moving on, number 2. So the number 2 big mistake that I see a lot of contractors making is marketing inconsistently. This is marketing specific, but it also goes into the sales process and sales cycle, because following up and everything, that's also marketing. But 2 things I'm going to be touching on is own the block. So what does this mean? Owning the block means wherever you're working, if you're working on a specific house, or if you're a commercial builder, you're doing a larger building or project, make sure you own that area. So you want to be setting up signage on the property. Make sure the client knows about it and it's all good, but set up signage on the property and then walk the block, maybe 2 blocks, whatever radius around that property you can. Put door hangers, or even, if people are outside, talk with them. I don't know about knocking on doors. That's kind of old school, but anyways, you want to have presence on the block because people are going to see your vehicles, they're going to see you, your workers, see your signs, see your door hangers. They will see you in real life and they'll realize, hey, you're in the neighborhood. Your door hangers could say something like, contact this number for free estimate. Hey, we're working down the street, whatever. They see you, there's multiple touch points. And it's real life. It's not just, some business online. They can actually see that, hey, these guys, this is what they do and they're local. So it's a great way to get some easy marketing, and you don't have to go, around big neighborhoods and stuff like that, just specifically where you're working. And often one job in a neighborhood or on a street can lead to multiple different jobs because they see, so-and-so is getting their house painted, so now they want to as well. And just, it works out well. A second thing for marketing, for having consistent marketing, is email list. So often I see with a lot of new clients, they've got emails and maybe they have a list and then, you've got your contacts built up over the years, but you've never really put any effort into sending out regular emails or creating a campaign. So every new customer, every new client that you have, or even a new lead, that they get an email every, month, maybe every quarter. You don't have to bombard them, but something so that you're consistently have touch points with them. And it's something that you can just kind of set and forget, right? That's the beauty of the email marketing. And you want to be making sure that when you are sending them an email, it's always valuable, right? Like if every email you opened, you got $100, you would be opening a lot of emails. So you want to make sure that every email you're sent to your customers, your clients, your leads, that there's something valuable in there, some information, some sort of maybe offer or promotion or whatever, that they're going to want to open your emails because they enjoy them. It doesn't have to just be monetary as far as information to educate them. It could just be entertaining, whatever it is, something cool, something exciting. Every time they open it, they get a good feeling. they'll want to keep opening them. And it's great to continue to keep a warm audience and nurture, all the clients in your marketing. So marketing consistently is the way to have a smooth running and take out all those, dips and ups and downs that come along with a lot of contracting and seasonal type work. So that's number 2. Number 3, still with me here on the big mistakes of running a construction company. Third one that I see a lot. I've done it. You've probably done it. Every contractor probably has at some point, charging too little. And often you may not even know that you're charging too little. I have rarely talked to a contractor who thinks that they're not on the higher end of what they should be charging. For some reason, it's just natural. We're usually kind of closing our business and we don't really know what other pricing's out there. Not that you should level your pricing with your competitors. That's not a good way to price stuff. But often we feel like, inflation, this and that, we're always raising our prices over the years. It's natural. Usually as a contractor, as a business owner, we often think we're kind of like at the level of like, this is sort of the maximum price that people are willing to pay, or, I don't want to overcharge beyond this because then I think like I'll be losing business and stuff like that. Very rarely is that the case, unless you're like doubling your price or something like that. Generally increases of anywhere from 5, 10, 20% is you're not even going to really see a negative effect to the amount of jobs you close. And the thing is, those clients that are willing to pay, that extra 10, 20% more, those are generally clients that are going to be more profitable. They're going to refer more people to you. You're going to be able to do a better job because you've priced it properly and you're not going to be struggling. So there's all sorts of benefits to pricing your services properly. And I've got other videos on this, like for job costing and figuring out pricing and stuff like that. But you want to make sure that everything is covered. Management, overhead, cost of goods, obviously cost of labor. You want to factor everything in there. Your wages of what you should be making, your time involved in the project, whether you've got a project manager managing it or yourself, figure out what it would cost and a nice, healthy profit, overhead and markup for the pricing that you're doing. And this is very essential. And when you get everything working together, it's amazing the flywheel effect of like you have consistent good marketing, you have really good pricing, and you can get your, on the next one I'm going to be talking about your systems, you get all those working together and you can really like turn around a business fairly quickly and really become profitable when everything's jiving together and you've got the right offer and sales pitch to be bringing in clients. So does that make sense? Third one, big mistake I see is charging too little. Sidestep that. Figure out what you're worth. Figure out what the cost is. Make sure you've got a healthy overhead markup and you're making money from it. So number 4, moving on, poor systems. So I've probably started like you started, just trying to chunk things together. Maybe I think I got QuickBooks. I mean, this was a bit back in the day before a lot of the new cool stuff that's out now. But I can remember a time when I didn't really have any systems in my business and I had to build from scratch, right? And that's what I help clients with now is, instead of having to build from scratch, I have everything kind of ready and made for you and a whole program to help assist you to get all the systems in place. But poor systems, your time is super valuable. Your people's, your team's time is super valuable. Take the time to make proper systems. Yes, it seems like a pain. You've got tons of other stuff going on. You may not be good at it because you haven't done it before. Maybe you don't know where to start, but just set some time aside and figure out how to get proper systems in place. I'm going to be sharing with you 4 different systems that you need to get working in your contracting business to help kind of get everything running. These are the big 4 to really build out that foundation that you can build and scale and, save time and become more profitable, more efficient. So many reasons to do this. And then make sure you stick around for the 5th one. It's actually the most important iceberg mistake that I see that sinks a lot of businesses. I've had that happen to me and it was not a fun experience. I'll be sharing that story in a second, but going to be sticking on the poor systems here. So the first one is financial. It's not enough just to have your bookkeeping in place and maybe be doing it every now and then, and maybe, you do it, your wife does it, somebody else. Hire a bookkeeper. It costs a bit of money, but it's so worth it. It's so pivotally. If there's one thing I can get across in this video, it is have proper bookkeeping in place so that you can run financial reports and know where you are at financially. It's so incredibly important. Getting back to the iceberg, there's like so much stuff you can't see if you don't have proper bookkeeping and reporting in place. You may have money in the bank. It may seem like things are churning, and then you hit tax time or things slump off in sales and you realize you got a big problem financially. So yeah, getting your finances in place, minimum level, hire a bookkeeper, someone to do it so you can get it off your plate. And then from there, it's all like figuring out the process of invoicing regularly, making sure you have cash, coming in, payroll, all that stuff should be pretty automatic. The financial side of things, it's not necessarily super easy to set up, but once it is, it's very automated. And with, one person, like a bookkeeper running it, you can pretty much manage all the back end stuff, or someone can manage all the back end stuff in very little time. So second big system to get into place is the CRM. So you may have like a project management software like Buildertrend or Contractor Foreman, CoConstruct, Procore, depending what you're using. I don't consider that a CRM. You can call it what you want, but that's more like for the project management side of things. For me, a CRM is more on the like marketing and sales and lead side of things. So you want to have a proper system for when leads come in, super quick response times, and just a solid process of like having someone reach out to them, getting their information, figuring out if they're a good client, whatever your process is. If you go do an estimate for them or you give them like a ballpark, whether that's a paid estimate or you provide free estimates. So whatever your system and process is, have a good CRM to be capturing all those leads and everything that's needed. And then your project management software, which I said before, that's a big piece and component of your business. So you want to get that in place. I'm not going to go into that because that's just like a whole nother topic. And then the last system I'm going to touch on is your HR system. So the big thing with HR systems is your hiring system, which we talked about earlier, and then your onboarding. So when a new employee comes into your business, have a checklist of all the things that they're going to need to know, have their employee handbook in place. So employee handbook is huge. It outlines everything for you so you don't have to describe and explain and tell them everything that they need to know. And the other big thing with HR is training. So having a training program, that onboarding checklist, that'll ramp them up over the first like week or two to get them like up to speed and know everything. And then from there, you want to be telling them how their training is going to unfold, because that's what's going to keep them there long term. If you're hiring the right people, they're going to be asking about, or they're going to be wanting to know how they fit into the company long term and if there is a growth potential for them, whether that's, income or, sorry, we got a little kitty over here fostering a kitty from one of the wildfires that happened. So he's kind of distracting me here. But anyways, telling an employee, this is your training schedule in 6 months or 1 year. I would like you to be able to get to this level, whatever that is. I want you to be able to work by yourself. I'd like you to do service calls. I'd like you to be able to frame a wall or read blueprints or whatever the potential of them. Let them know that, because that's what keeps them long term and helps really solidify your team together, is that they know not just showing up for a paycheck. There is actually, there's something more for me to come to work to and developing my skills. So that's the fourth one, poor systems. Fifth one I'm gonna be touching on here is financial mismanagement. So that's a big mistake. Talked to it a little bit earlier, but things that you want to be thinking about. And a bit of backstory here for me, I ran into a lot of financial problems, maybe not a lot, but some big ones anyways with my business. We grew very fast, tripled our revenue in 1 year or less. So we had a really fast growth trajectory. And it was good. A lot of money coming in. It was good till it wasn't. And essentially, I was not managing my finances properly. Didn't have enough bank accounts set up. I did not have, a good pulse on the numbers of what my expenses were and how much I was spending. And things fell apart. I had to take on really crippling debt with very high interest rates. I had to refinance things to be able to pay taxes, and just was in a world of hurt, essentially. And one of the big reasons that I, coach clients now is to help them sidestep that so that they do not have to go through that whole ordeal. So things you want to be doing is having a buffer, having some sort of savings in place. Generally, you're going to have 4 to 5 different bank accounts, and you're going to allocate money to those different bank accounts depending on what they're for. So you're going to have one for taxes, for income, for expenses, for your profit, and an income account, just like the main one that goes to your expenses. So that's big. Reporting is another big one. You want to be watching your reports. So profit and loss and your balance sheet are the two big ones. And you want to be looking at the trailing 12 months, not just month to month. Month to month, things can go up and down, but look at the trailing 12 months. Over the last 12 months, how has things changed, and what's really going on long term. And then finally, the big thing for financial mismanagement, the way to sidestep it, is your personal expenditures, your personal lifestyle. So this is a big mistake, big iceberg that I see a lot of contractors making. I've been guilty of it myself. You get a lot of money coming in, you're growing, things are going well. All of a sudden it's time to upgrade your truck or go on vacation or buy a house or whatever, million different things that you can spend money on. But the thing is, those big purchases and your personal lifestyle cripples the business if you need too much money to constantly keep paying off whatever it is lifestyle kind of choices that you made. And if you've taken on a lot of debt personally or purchased a lot of different things that need upkeep or ongoing payments, then it raises the risk of your business and makes things a lot difficult. So those are the big 5. If you can sidestep those, you will have smooth waters. Your business business will grow, and like all the best to you, because that's going to make such a big difference. If you need help with any of this, reach out to me. There's links in the description below to free resource on how to systematize your business, as well as some free templates and different things to help you just kick it out of the park and rock and roll with your business. And as always, check out our other videos here. I got a ton of different videos to help you grow your business.